Hey guys, MaliciousCompliance here, and today I am hopping back to r/MaliciousCompliance. It's been a couple of months since I last covered this, so I've chosen 3 stories that I feel like would be interesting to read. I picked based on title, not on the actual content, so this could go anywhere. If the last video I recorded has anything to go by, yeah, it will. Let's get right into it. I don't think your kid will like my candy, lady, but whatever. Since there's only a week left of summer, I decided to take the kids to the local amusement/water park today. As I've gotten older, the rides have gotten a little tougher on me. In addition, my daughter tends to get motion sick rather easily. I don't like the way motion sickness pills make me feel, so I always take a Ziploc baggie full of ginger candy along to prevent and soothe nausea. Today I had chewy mango ginger candies, hard plain ginger candies, and hard lemon ginger candies. For those who've never had ginger candy, it is spicy. The lemon ginger is probably the mildest. The plain ginger is just plain hot. The mango ginger are sweet and spicy, but they also stick to your teeth like crazy. They're definitely an acquired taste. As we are standing in line for the log ride, I pull out my baggie. Doesn't sound that great, mate. I choose a lemon one, as does my son, 13. My daughter, 12, asks for a mango one. While I'm fishing a mango one out, I hear the kid in front of us tell his mum that he, around 7ish, wants some candy. His mum distractedly says she doesn't have any candy. The boy says, "But she does." Yeah. He turns to me and asks for one. I tell him I don't really think he'd like my candy. By this time, his mum has focused in on the interaction. As the kids start to whine that, of course he'd like my candy, his mum just helps and says, "You've got a whole baggie, can't you just give him one? Come on, don't be greedy." "Oh, you just said the magic word there, lady." I say, "Alright," and dig out a lemon one. I'm not completely heartless. That's when the kid whines that he wants mango. Mango is his favourite. I tell him lemon is better, but he insists on mango. I tell him it's kind of sticky as I hand it over. The kid rips it open, shoves it in his mouth, and gets in 3 quick chews while my kids stare at him. Then he actually starts to taste it, and a look of horror comes across his face. He screams and spits it out. He's jumping around and flapping his arms. His mum is panicking and asking what's wrong. He's screaming that it's bad and it's hot and he wants it out. His mum tells him to spit it out. That's when I pipe up with the very helpful, "It's really sticky. What's left is probably stuck in his teeth. He'll have to wait for it to melt off if he doesn't want to chew." The mum looks at me in disbelief and a shrug. Then she asks what in the hell I gave her son. Probably should have asked me that sooner, lady. I answer, "Ginger candy. It's good for nausea." I'm pretty sure I'd be dead if looks could kill. We go up in line 2 spaces though, because she whisked her kid off to a water fountain. I like to think the kid will think twice about demanding things from strangers. Plus, it was entertaining. Overall, the kids and I counted as a win. If you want to get rid of people out of the line, yeah, that can be a win, but at least you were nice. You tried to give them the mild candy, but mango just happened to be his favourite. You can't win against someone's favourite, can't you? How a local doctor got the best malicious compliance against my boss. Somewhere around 2007, I was working as a drugstore manager, running the entire front store and the pharmacy. Pay was excellent for someone who was in their early to mid-20s, but the job was also soul-crushing in some stupid ways. A rule came down that cashiers can no longer have drinks at the register. They can drink on their lunch breaks and otherwise shouldn't need water. At the same time, they dialed back the AC, so the store was constantly uncomfortably warm, but not technically dangerous. I had some of the best staff. One lady was roughly 65 and came to me to let me know she was on medicine that gave her dry mouth. So she needed me to know if I took her water away, she would really have a hard time being able to talk to customers. She almost developed a lisp when she couldn't have her water. I told her, no worries, have your water, I'll deal with my boss when he sees you someday. Because he was running 40 stores and mine was generally not a problem store, he only came by every 60 days or so. Eventually he does swing in and asks her about her water. She says she has a medical condition and I told her it was fine. I also told him I had approved the water. He pulls me into the office to let me know that for her to have that water she needs a doctor's note. If he sees her with it again without a note, we both get written warnings. He explains this is not because not following the company rule can't be a decision made by me. I'm flabbergasted. I'm just the manager in charge of the store. This company literally made me do drills on how to deal with bombs or shootings, but I can't approve a bottle of water? It must be an exception deemed necessary for medical needs. I explain this is stupid. He actually agrees but says he's also following orders from above. Great. I pull my cashier aside and tell her what's up. I said I'm really sorry, but can she please just get her doctor to fax a stupid note over so we can cover our butts? She got a little gleam in her eye, and I was excited to see what it meant. Her next shift, she rolls in and says, "You're going to love this." She hands me about 100 copies of a letter that says something along the lines of, "I do solemnly swear that cashier is medically a human being and requires water on regular basis while working and not solely during breaks." This was a massive waste of my time and your company should be ashamed of yourself. I'll be recommending your competitor as much as humanly possible to my patients who fill prescriptions in this town for the rest of my natural life. Dr. Blank. The next 40 were identical letters, each with a different staff member listed, as my genius cashier has snagged an old schedule with first names and last initials. The rest had a blank space for me to fill in new high names so our staff could all have drinks on the sale floor. My boss wasn't even mad. None of the higher ups above him ever mentioned it on a store walk, so I assumed it was covered in a meeting of people higher up than me. That is just... it's like... smooth. You're covered for life. With a doctor's note, and she's like 100 copies. It's just like, here we go. Everyone gets water. She's just helped everyone get water into their system. You want to have girls over all the time? Okay, have it your way. The setup. I have a 2-bedroom house. I decided that I wanted to rent out the other bedroom in the house to make some money on space I wasn't really using after the cough. So I fixed up the place really nice. The tenant gets a private semi-attached bathroom. Bathroom is actually outside the bedroom, but I put up drapes between the bedroom and bathroom so the tenant can walk between without me seeing. Common consumables. I pay for toilet paper, paper towels, laundry supplies, kitchen supplies, etc, 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 etc. We really need to stop with the etceteras. Come on, people. I create the lease. The lease is very bare bones. It just says, you get a room at this property, you pay this much this month. Landlord covers all the utilities. Your lease is X months long. I created the ad. In the ad, I mentioned how it's okay to have guests over, but keep it to no more than twice per month. I did not put this into the lease agreement. You can see where this is going. I do a showing for a prospect, T. I tell him the guest policy, and he seems just fine with it. I do the rest of the showing, It all seems grand. He signs the lease agreement and moves in. Now for the problem. The first month is grand. Anyone can fool someone for a month, but eventually you return to bad habits. His bad habit was women. He would have women over 4 to 5 nights per week. I did not appreciate this. I pulled him aside to tell him, hey, you're having a lot of girls over. You need to reduce how many girls over, or if you're willing to pay a bit extra for having all these girls over, I won't say a thing. He initially agrees with it. The next day he calls me down and asks to speak with me at the dining room table. It's T and his girl, the drawer G. T begins arguing. How can you ask for more money when that's not in the lease agreement? You can't ask for that. I told him the guest policy was in the ad and we spoke about it when he came here. He said, yeah, but you can't ask for that. If it's not in the lease agreement, you can't do that. The guest policy isn't in the lease agreement either, so I pay rent. I can have over whoever, whenever I want. G piped in. You just need to take the L on this one and write better lease agreements. I replied to G, you're not on the lease agreement, so I don't give a short what you think about. I turned to T, it was in the ad. We also talked about it when you came here, you knew about this. T replied, whoa man, calm down, it's just 6 months man. That's my lease term, I'll be out of your hair in 6 months. I replied, why can't you stay at her place? And G said, that's none of your business. Shut up, G. I don't care what you think. You want a property? You got one. This is not cool, and you know it. Why does she have to be here 5 nights a week? She practically lives here. I signed the lease with UT, not with her. Why is she here? He shrugged. I can't help it. I'm on the lease agreement, man. That's what lease agreements are for. I was infuriated. We talked about this. He's choosing to follow the lease agreement. Okay, fine. What's a guy to do? I want him gone. I don't want T and G teaming up against me in my own house. They walked upstairs and turned on the loud music in their room. Late in the evening, G was downstairs cooking something on the stove by herself using my pots and pans. She's cooking for herself in my house. She's not even a tenant, but she sure is acting like one. G tried striking up a friendly conversation with me, but I just gave her absolute silence for 10 minutes while I cooked. I took my food upstairs. This is war. I'm going to follow the lease agreement to the letter. If I advertise a feature in the ad, but it wasn't in the lease agreement, that thing is gone. The compliance. Every day I took something away. I first started by removing all the common consumables from the house. He texted me later, man, you removed all the consumables. You need to calm down. You need to calm down on the rent. I replied, not in the lease agreement. He said, it don't gotta be like this. I removed the drapes between his room and the private bathroom. I took away the chairs from the dining room table. I then shut off the clothes washer and dryer, circuit breakers were in my room, and taped up the location of a local laundromat. I also became an absolutely filthy roommate. I didn't clean anything. Left bags of garbage wherever I felt like. I never cleaned the kitchen and left the sink full of dishes. Please, man, can you clean up? No. I had maid service. Cancelled that. I informed him of the change. Can you calm down on the rent, man? Not in the lease agreement. You agreed to a rental price. Come on. I turned off the breaker to the stove and left a wall socket single pot electric plate for him to use. I turned off the microwave, not on the lease agreement either. I actually started feeling bad for him. G started coming around less and less as I made the living situation worse and worse. Finally, he texted me, do you want me to move out? I replied, yes, when are you leaving my house? He said, at the end of the month. will you let me break the lease? I replied, of course. He left at the end of the month. I had my house back. I made sure to make my next lease agreement way more specific about everything. This guy went so far to go absolute filth monster to get rid of his tenant. To get rid of his tenant. Because he was out there getting the girls and getting the girls. I appreciate this guy's dedication. Like, that is impressive. Like, he stuck with it till the bitter end. And I bet you when it was done, it was like, I have to clean. And also getting the maid services back in. It's like I really need to get this clean now. Anyways, on that dirty note, I'm going to end this episode here. Links will be in the description of the main channel and the second channel for you guys go check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know next video comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.